So coming from Reuters, Anthropic says Alibaba illicitly extracted Claude AI model capabilities. Maybe somebody will care about Anthropic's complaints if they say Alibaba. I mean, theoretically, I guess that's a bit of a possibility here. So basically, Anthropic has been screaming for a while now about how their AI is being attacked, right? You'll have heard of these distillation attacks. Oh no, look at what China is doing to American AI systems. We have to put a stop to this. But then you ask the question of what exactly is a distillation attack? And what you find out is basically China has their AI models. They have their AI models essentially ask Anthropic's models questions, get their responses back. The Chinese models learn from the responses in order to make the Chinese models better. And that is what we're talking about when we're talking about a distillation, quote unquote, attack. The horror, right? So anyways, this has been a big pushback, especially with Anthropic. OpenAI came out to argue about it a little while ago too. And I was actually surprised with this particular article. I had to look at the timestamp. Literally, we've talked about this numerous times in the past. So when I saw this article across my newsfeed this morning, I was like, oh, that's weird. Why is this thing from February in my June newsfeed? And then come to find out, oh no, this is just Anthropic continuing to complain. But I guess they think if they slap Alibaba on the title of their argument, maybe that will get them a little bit further. If we go over, we take a look at Reuters, right? This is, what is this? What is this? China man bad. TLDR. China man bad. U.S. AI company Anthropic accused Alibaba, the Chinese technology and e-commerce giant, of illicitly extracting its Claude AI model capabilities in what it said was the largest known attack of its kind on the company, according to a letter seen by Reuters. And that's the interesting thing with all this crime. Illicitly extracting information from Claude. One of the reasons that I get frustrated with this whole line of thinking, though, is basically all of these AI companies have illicitly taken the world's knowledge base, essentially, digested into their systems, and now is trying to charge the world for basically what the world already created. Right, I've talked about this in the past. Literally, there's a service called Cloudflare. And one of Cloudflare's new pieces of functionality is to stop AI bots from scraping websites. Because literally, and this is actually true, the AI bots were scraping websites to such a degree they were essentially crashing servers. AI bots, in order to scrape information for training material, were putting so much demand onto servers, it ended up being a denial of service attack. And if you put into robots.txt file, please don't scrape my webpage. If you did the stuff that you were supposed to do, right, the AI companies did not care. Don't you understand? These people need their billions of dollars in blood money, and they do not care who they destroy in order to get that money. But now that Chinese companies are interacting with their AI systems, oh, poor little, that's so sad, right? And so the big thing to understand with this, when they talk about the attacks or the illicit, right, the big thing that they're saying with illicit is the concept of terms of service, right? So when you sign up with an account for any of these AI platforms, you agree to a terms of service that you probably have never read. They literally, right, they have their lawyers create terms of service that are so complicated and so long, they know nobody will actually read the terms of service. Therefore, in the future, if you do anything that they dislike, they can rip you off the platform in a heartbeat, and you have no recourse. They design all of their systems to be for them and anti everybody else in the world. And so we're talking about illicit activity. Essentially, China's violating the terms of service. To which I would like to say, Go, Chinaman, go! You violate that terms of service. Oh no, you're violating big tech's terms of service. Let me show you all the tears I am going to shed for that. So that's what they're talking about with the illicit, and then the attack is just, you know. Is it an attack when AI companies scrape people's websites to such a degree that it crashes the websites? Is it an attack when AI companies scrape websites to such a degree it becomes such a prominent issue in the real world that Cloudflare has to come out with a service literally to try to stop these what could be considered attacks on people's servers? Yeah, but for some reason, I can't quite understand why. For some reason, these people never really think about it that way, do they? No. Anyways, let's see here. The strike by Alibaba is described as a distillation effort or attack, which Anthropic has said involves training a less capable model on the outputs of a stronger one. The horror. The horror. Anthropic said the campaign was conducted between April 22nd and June 5th, 2026, and generated more than 28.8 million exchanges with Claude through almost 25,000 fraudulent accounts. And so this shows you, right, Anthropic's failure. This actually shows you OpenAI's failure. This shows you a lot of problems with this whole AI fraud that's currently going on right now. So one of the things I've talked about for a while now is they talk about artificial intelligence being compute constrained. There are not enough hardware resources available for all of the AI activity that needs to currently go on. One of the points that I've made is with OpenAI, something like 90% of OpenAI's users are free users. Anthropic, we don't get the official numbers. Apparently, it's like 60% of their users are free users, right? With Google, I don't even want to use Google's AI. Like, I'm not against it. I just don't really want to use it. It still gets shoved down my throat all the time, right? So one of the things you find, which is really kind of interesting, is the weird, we could call it a business model. We could call it a business model. The weird business model that these AI companies have is they give away their services for free at hyperscale, and then because they've given away all these services for free, that proves they should be worth $1 trillion. Whatever. But the issue that you run into is basically then there can be no security checks, right? Look, if you're running a normal business, if you're running a business that should be worth $1 trillion, right? The value of the product that you're shipping for that business should be high enough that people are willing to go through certain hoops in order to get that particular product, right? Swipe a credit card, do all of that kind of stuff. Here's a problem for these AI companies though, right? As soon as they put any barrier in the technology or in the business world, it's called friction. As soon as these AI companies add any friction at all, right, the use of their product is going to go in the toilet. As I've talked about before with Google, Google is very interesting, right? I rarely go to Gemini. To be clear, I do actually go to Gemini, but it's like every few days type of deal. But I'm using Google's AI every day because I go to Google basically to search for answers, and then they shove AI down my throat. Ergo, they get rid of all friction for me using AI. So I end up using AI even when I don't really want to use AI, right? With OpenAI, with Claude, with some of these other things. Basically, what they've realized is the more friction they put in there, the less likely it is that people are going to use their crappy ass services. Ergo, they have to have as little friction as possible. Here's a problem. One of the things that friction does is it's actually a form of security, right? The more hoops you have to jump through, that slows down people's utilization of your product, and that actually is a form of security. So the problem for these AI companies is they want it to be as frictionless as possible, but they make it as frictionless as possible. There's no friction. That's the perfect attack vector for bots or whatever else to come in and do whatever the hell bots and all these things are going to do. And so then they run into the issue, right? So what's interesting with Anthropic right now is they're running to Big Daddy Trump, which is so hilarious, right? They're running to Big Daddy Trump. They need the federal government to pass rules and laws and regulations in order to protect them from a quote-unquote attack that they could protect themselves from with relatively simple processes. But those simple processes would add just a little bit of friction. And as soon as they don't allow the bots to hammer the hell out of their systems, they're also going to lose a lot of other people too. And I think that's one of the things. This shows you the lie of the story of artificial intelligence, where, right, they would be able to implement relatively adequate security procedures for user accounts and that type of thing if they were willing to add just a wee bit of friction. They're not. So they're running to the government. Oh, let's see here. Anthropic said in the letter that Distillation is a way to help accelerate China's ability to reach Anthropic's advanced Mythos preview capabilities. And we gotta be scared of that, because Mythos is more dangerous than 20 nuclear weapons. It said the campaign was conducted by operators affiliated with Alibaba and Alibaba Quinn, Alibaba's AI lab. The letter, dated June 10th, was sent to Senators Tim Scott and Elizabeth Warren, the chair and ranking member, respectively, of the U.S. Senate Banking Committee, ahead of a scheduled hearing on AI. In April, the White House accused China of stealing U.S. AI labs' intellectual property on an industrial scale. Anthropic said in the letter it was supportive of the U.S. government's efforts to combat the attacks. Notice how they keep saying attacks, including partnering with private sector AI companies through threat intelligence sharing and other exercises. Anthropic said in a February posting that it had identified a campaign by a Chinese AI startup, DeepSeek, whose low-cost AI model sent shockwaves through the technology world in January 2025, and 2 other Chinese AI labs to illicitly extract capabilities from its Claude AI platform. And whenever you hear this, right, illicitly extract capabilities, understand their AI was asking Claude questions, Claude was responding. That's what we are talking about here. It said DeepSeek's operation involved over 150,000 exchanges, while Moonshot AI was at a scale of at over 3.4 million and Minimax over 13 million. It also said at the time that the campaigns were growing in, quote, intensity and sophistication, and that addressing the threat would require, quote, rapid, coordinated action amongst industry players, policymakers, and the global AI community. So there you go. There you go. Dario is crawling to the Trump administration, saying, please save us from the disaster that we have created. I do wonder with this, though, you know what would be absolutely hilarious? They talked about this with Twitter, or Elon Musk talked about this with Twitter, with like the whole bot problem on Twitter. So Twitter, before Elon Musk bought Twitter, you know, Twitter was being used, but there was this whole argument about how many of the user accounts on Twitter were actually human beings and how many of the user accounts on Twitter were bots, right? And then there was an actual really interesting question of what happens if all the bot traffic goes away? Like literally, right? So with all these technology companies, they drive the numbers they're selling to people just through the roof, right? We are so amazing because this is our scale. One of the issues you run into, though, is what if half of those numbers are bots? You know, in a sane world, you would just cleanse those bot accounts. Get rid of the bot accounts, you know, and go back to what you were doing. Resource utilization will go down, performance will go up. That would be great. But the problem is, right, if you sold your investors on 10 million visitors per day, right, you've gone to the investors, why we're worth a gazillion dollars is because we got 10 million visitors per day. Here's the problem. You go through, you find out 5 million of those accounts are bots. So again, in a sane world, you would eliminate those 5 million bot accounts. You would just have 5 million actual users and everything would be better. The investors should be happy because the cost of resources has now gone down because you're not servicing bot accounts anymore. Performance has gone up because you're not servicing bot accounts anymore, and everybody should be happy. But remember optics with investors. All of a sudden, you went from having 10 million daily users to 5 million daily users. As I've talked about before, valuations is all about pulling numbers out of your eye. It literally is. I've talked to the big boys. This is what they do. They pull the valuation out of their buttocks, essentially. And they're like, oh, you know, when it was $10 million, I was willing to pay a gazillion dollars. I don't know, now that's $5 million. I'm not even sure it's worth my time to write the check. So an interesting question here, when you start looking at the scale of these distillation methods, I would say, the distillation methods of these Chinese companies, and probably a lot of other companies going after these AI models too, is the whole question of what if they did stop it? What if they did stop that level of traffic, right? You're talking about millions and millions of these interactions or whatever else, then your daily users would go down, your utilization would go down. All of a sudden, numbers would go down. Would your investors be as interested in your business if your numbers went down? Even if the numbers that you had left were legitimate. It's like, look, this large number is fake, but this small number is legitimate. Here's the thing about investors. Investors are like, yeah, but I like big numbers. No. But the big number was fake. I know it was fake. I just feel a little bit more comfortable with a big number. So anyways, we're going to see where all of this goes. I think it's just kind of cute right now with Dario, again, begging the Trump administration, begging the federal government for support on this. And I also just think it shows the lie of where artificial intelligence really is at this point in time, where they can't add the level of friction. If this was a sane business, if they actually did care about compute capacity, if they cared about the things they state that they cared about, they would put more friction in for getting accounts and utilization and all that kind of stuff. What we see is they're trying to make it as frictionless as possible, which means basically all they really care about is use. And they know as soon as they put friction in there, their utilization is probably going to go in the toilet, right? Again, how many hoops are people actually going to jump through for these free services? I would argue probably not many. That's one of the reasons that I think Google in many ways is doing AI well. I mean, if you can do AI well, doing AI well, is that they're just putting AI into all of their services. You go to Google search, it gives you AI now. It's interesting now, like with me being a YouTube content creator. If I use my mobile phone, my app, the app, and I go to comments, there's literally an AI agent or whatever in my comments, so it can summarize what you all think about my videos, right? Think about it. That's all seamless. I already have the Google account. I already have these accounts and these systems on these platforms. All this is set up. They're just kind of sliding that AI in there, which I think is a great way to increase utilization. Because again, it is even when I don't want to use it, I'm using it. But that does a bit beg the question of how valuable this garbage actually is. So what do you think about this? What do you think about Dario being on bended knee, begging the Trump administration to save him from the disaster that he has created? Do you think this is yet another story and proof that the value for these AI companies is just not where they say it is? What do you think? Put your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like these episodes, make sure to go to Spotify or to Apple Podcast. Link is down below. Also, if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.